Produced by Victoire.
Seekers of the truth, welcome back to Power and Glory, the podcast. We apologize for being away for a little bit, but then again, good things come to those who wait. I am the Master Emir, along with my co-stars. First, ladies and gentlemen, he is a legend in professional wrestling, former WWE, WCW superstar. Ladies and gentlemen, the pretty one, Paul Roma.
I appreciate it, as always. Glad that everybody's here, and we should have a good show for everyone today.
Absolutely, we will have a good show. Paul, right underneath you in the screen, our co-star. We've somehow been able to track him down to this week, Paul. I mean, Mario, did you come back down to earth? You're gracing us with your celebrity status presence once again.
Amir, I'm just a little depressed because there was a bad car accident today, and this guy he lost his eyelids, so he needed surgery really bad, and it was sad, man. I mean, he wasn't able to blink or anything. So what they did was they took some skin off his scrotum and they made new eyelids for him, so he can blink. He's slightly cockeyed, but he's okay.
I knew it was going somewhere.
Yeah,
I knew it was going somewhere.
Always wanted to bring the comedy, Mario Manson.
Yeah. What's going on, gentlemen?
All is well, Mario. We're glad that you are back here with us, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mario Mancini. And, of course, joining us right beneath my square on the screen right here. He's returning because he's been co-hosting some episodes of Masterclass with me. He is the bodacious suave, Mr. Matthew Jacobs.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. This episode is going to be one for the ages because, ladies and gentlemen, Matthew is a huge supporter of our channel here. He's been a wrestling fan for many years, dabbled in the ring himself. So, Matthew, we're going to give you the floor today. Actually, we're going to let you ask two of your heroes, Mr. Paul Roma and Mario Mancini, some questions, and don't hold back because controversy creates cash. So.
All right. Pressure's on. I got one for Mario. Mario, I'm just curious, did you ever work Owen Hart at all when he was a Blue Blazer or the Rocket, anything?
I wish. No,
but
I had a pretty good relationship in the dressing room with him. He was a really nice kid, really nice guy, and really down to earth, and he talked to you, and he was a real jokester. He was really never serious. But he was a fun guy to be around. I wish I worked with him in the ring, but I think it's that baby face thing. The baby face. There's a lot of guys I wish I worked with but they were baby faces. So, no one was interested in turning me heel unless it was a house show, which was very confusing. I guess I wasn't a big enough character for it to make a difference, though, because in a lot of house shows I had to be a heel, even though I was a baby face on TV. But that's okay. But no, I wish I did have the opportunity. I did not.
were you ever part of like pay-per-views as the opening match ever? Or you
Never.
strictly TV? No?
Never. I was invited to sell programs at some of them. No, I'm only kidding. No, no. No.
Wouldn't surprise me though.
I offered to scoop the potatoes at catering, but they wouldn't let me do that either. So no, yeah, no pay-per-views to my credit at all. It'd be nice to tell some real juicy stories, but that damn Wikipedia, pretty accurate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, Mario, I have another one for you just because you're very underrated. Paul, don't worry, I'll get to you.
Paul's not worried.
But Mario, like with what your role was in the WWF, like what was your big moment where you were like, what was a night off for you? Did you wrestle anyone that was a night off? I mean, we know the David Schultz story, right? Which is no fun, breaking your nose. But was there a night off and just maybe a happy moment for you in the ring that you didn't like?
Most of them, really. These guys were great to work with, most of them. you know, a lot of times when I came back to the ring, you know, especially TV taping, I wanted to look up and see me up there again because I wanted to go back out there. Because listen, it's like I tell my students, you know what I mean? The biggest thing you have to do is have fun. If it's not fun, don't do it. You know what I mean? I loved wrestling, and I loved, which I saw my chiropractor today. I love taking crazy bumps, and I like taking precision bumps. You know what I mean? Well, I looked at Hercules Hernandez in 1988, and I said, "That's it. This is all I'm going to be. I have to accept it." I said, "But if this is all I'm going to be the best damn carpenter this place ever had." So I really focused. What could I do? I focused on doing jobs the best I could. Um, and from the looks of it, I did them well. So I didn't like working guys like I mean, and he's passed away, no disrespect, but I didn't like working with Adrian Adonis. Um, as much as I love Eddie now, he was, you know, he was pretty stiff, beefcake. But you know what? Guys like Valentine, Ordendorf, the Hart Foundation, you know, Bundy, you know, all those guys, you know, Ray, Hercules, Roma, um, you know, all these guys were, you know, they were great. You know, as long as you could do it, you know what I mean? You have to remember something. You had to hang. So what do I mean by that? If you made them look like a fool, I mean, no matter who you were, Roma was going to clear you on a leapfrog, no matter who you were. So he didn't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? But let's do a hypothetical and say he was leapfrogging me, and my head hit the inside of his thigh. You know what? Once he gets done with that leapfrog, it's not going to end up well for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's his thing, and I didn't make his thing look good, and that's what I'm there to do. So, you know, I probably got pretty good receipt coming from that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but
So,
that wouldn't come from me on you because
no, no, no. I'm just saying, not Roma. Roma would,
that would be a receipt for two different people. Like
right?
if our fans don't hit the subscribe button, I'm going to give them some receipts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's
Thank
true
you,
too.
Paul.
If
Yeah.
it was Roma and I, he would come back to the dressing room and go, you know, anybody else, he's not going to do. You know what I mean? But say, yeah, here's a good example. And bless his soul, I didn't get a receipt. This is a true story. I missed Randy Savage's debut by one match. So I'm the second match that night. And he looked at me and he said, "I'm going to give you that slam, get up and give you the elbow." I go, "Okay." I'm 19 years old, man. You know what I mean? So he slammed me. He went to the top rope. I got up.
Mm.
It's on YouTube. If you watch it, it'll come down with a double axe on me. And he goes, "Stay down." And I said, "Okay." And he went back up and dropped the elbow. And we got back in the dressing room and he went, "Hey, why'd you get up?" I go, "You told me to." He goes, "No, I didn't." I go, "You said in the dressing room you're going to slam me, get up, and you'll give me that elbow." He goes, "I meant I get up to the top rope." I said, "I'm sorry, I misunderstood you." You know what I mean? So, you know, that went okay. You know what I mean? That went all right. Um, and then you got Haku in a house show. Um, they called me at, I don't know, noon, to go to Johnstown, PA. And I asked Terry Garvin how far that was, and he said 40 miles east of Philadelphia. I said, "Oh, I'll be there by 4:30." And it was 418 miles away. It's 40 miles away from Pittsburgh. So I got there at 8 o'clock. I was pretty tired. And I'd gotten into a car accident. And I had this huge green 77 Thunderbird, and I rear-ended a VW Rabbit.
Yeah.
And not a scratch on my car. The back of that car was totaled. So now I'm even more late. So I get there at 8 o'clock, and Girl Monsoon's there. And he's like, I go, Gino, they told me it was 40 miles east of Philadelphia. And back then, all he had was a paper map. So I said, I got into a car accident. And he goes, if I would have turned around and went home, I go, hey, who am I working with? And he goes, Haku, get dressed. Well, evidently, I must have locked up like a wet noodle because he got me against the ropes and he laid one. It wasn't a punch, it was an open hand slap hard to my midsection. To knock the wind out of me, doubled me over. He took me in a headlock and he got me in a headlock and took me over. He goes, are you up now? I go, wide awake. I'm wide awake. And we had a good match. So there's another example of, you really gotta, these guys are there that are over, you know what I mean? You're there to get them over. And if you're a wet noodle or worse, you don't know what you're doing, there's could be problem.
Yeah.
You know?
I watch wrestling today a little bit, and compared to back then, you don't see anybody. I can't really catch anybody calling spots back then as opposed to today. Like today, you can sometimes hear it through the cameras and you can see the wrestlers' lips. But this will be for Paul. Like, was there anybody that was like a loud spot caller for you guys, or that was like completely unheard of? And if that was a thing,
No, the only time you got loud was when you were tag teaming, but you call it out to your partner. You don't care who's going to hear you because if you call out a double clothesline or a double hip toss or a double backdrop or whatever the case may be, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care if the fans hear it because the guy's taking it no matter what.
Yeah,
and that's I really stress that with my tag teams today. Yell out to your partner, hey, set them up for this, set them up for that.
Mm-hmm.
Let the people hear it. It doesn't matter if they hear you calling it out.
Mm-hmm.
You're a team.
Yeah.
You hear the quarterback calling out signals on a football field. He's I don't know, whatever they may be. 10:45. Whatever the case. It's all good. Their team knows it, what he's talking about, so he can adjust, make the proper adjustments on the field. Well, it's the same thing in the ring. If you're in a tag match, especially, you want to shoot the guy off and you want your partner to do something, tell your partner what it is you want him to do. Then shoot the guy off, and your partner should be able to make that happen. Execute it.
Yeah.
Is it true if you were a tag team, your pay was less because you were a tag team and Vince would divide it? Was that
not to my knowledge?
Okay, so you were
everybody's paid individually.
Okay.
Unless he made an agreement with you, like Hawk and Animal, Legion of Doom. They had an agreement what they're going to get paid as far as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Amir, you shoot one question here. We'll give you a shot here.
Well, actually, I was gonna, as you were talking there, I was actually gonna ask Paul, who did you ever shoot on somebody in the ring? Like, do you remember an incident where you really, put someone in their place because they fumbled something or anything like that? Did you ever have an altercation like that?
Yeah, kind of like a yes and a no.
Mm-hmm.
We were overseas, Orndorff and I, and Marcus was being a little hard to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, bring him over here, and I kicked him in the chest hard.
Yeah.
And then he's calling a spot, and I'm like, no, no, you know what I mean? And Orndorff and I are the veterans.
Right.
So it's what we say, not what you say.
Yeah.
And it had to make sense. If it made sense, I would have said, okay. So I just flat out pulled him away from his corner, and I was telling him no. When we got in the locker room, I verbally let him have it.
Yeah.
He sat there and he took it well.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a plus.
Mm-hmm.
But No, not. I mean, sure, drop an elbow on somebody, a little more stiff than usual. Give them a little crack, a little harder than usual. Even a drop kick,
Mm-hmm.
if you wanted to, a little stiffer.
Yeah.
And it isn't so much that, I don't know. It could be for any given reason.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they hit you too hard. If they apologize, then you have to decide. Do I let it go? Was it really a mistake? Even though he said he was sorry, was it really a mistake?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're a veteran, so you shouldn't be making mistakes.
Yeah.
Does it happen? Yeah, it happens. Then you have to decide real quick: was it on purpose or was it really a mess up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what you decide on. And I've seen and heard of things that have gone down for guys that stiff other guys in the ring, and a lot of it's happened in the ring where they took care of it, and then they've taken care of it in the locker room.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Speaking of that, like this new strong style that seems, well, again, I say new, it seems to be more prolific now, where the guys are literally making a lot of contact. I mean, I remember back in you guys' days, the art was like nobody comes out hurt, right? It
Right.
looks seamless, right? But now a lot of the guys, at least what I'm seeing, is they're really trying to connect now to that believability, and it's quite reckless. It's dangerous. I don't see an art form in that, to be honest with you.
Well, so here, it's easy for somebody to put something together when they're not a part of it, meaning they're not subject
Mm-hmm.
to what's going to happen, to the pain.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you used to look at WWF, it was a big thing when Snuka splashed off the top of the cage, right?
Yeah.
But that's all on Snuka.
Yeah.
Now you have guys going, through tables, through the cage. Are they landing properly? Can you? Well, you try your best.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you go through the cage and you get hung up a little bit, you can land any awkward way.
Yeah.
And I have nothing against the guy I'm about to say, but when you get somebody like, Mankind, who brought it to the next level, because, and he'll probably agree to what I have to say. Mankind's not a good wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He never was.
Right.
He had to do, absurd things in order to get over, and he got over, and that's great. That's on him. He's bringing bodily harm to himself. That's fine. But when you start, carrying on, and guys are trying to get a little more crazy and, off ladders and different things and going through tables. When Shane was hitting those tables, Shane McMahon, they had airbags, inside the tables.
Yeah.
You could see them deploy. But, the real wrestlers were not. They didn't have the airbags. So I guess they started complaining because, why should he be pervy to not getting hurt, but everybody else is.
Yeah.
Right? You're not putting airbags in for the wrestlers, but you're putting them in for Vince's kid. It's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
Not fair to anybody. I'm going to land on a mattress and you're going to land on the concrete floor. Well, you can land on the mattress all day long. You're never going to get hurt.
Yeah.
But you land on the concrete floor. It only takes once and you're all done.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just think it got to a point now where not only are the razor wire, the barbed wire, the thumbtacks, the Legos, ladders, chairs, of course, whatever you can name. Down to a point where it's gone into the WWE because these guys are losing the edge.
Mm-hmm.
They need a wow factor, and they can't get the wow factor from wrestling anymore because they weren't trained properly. So they go to the extreme, excuse me, let me go through a ladder. Let me make the guy, I'll suplex him on a ladder or off the top of a ladder. And I understand you're getting paid decent money and that's great. But later on down the line, it's not going to pay your bills anymore.
Right.
It's just not. It's not going to fix what's broken in your body.
Mm-mm.
The arthritis, different discs that are, all done now. The separations, You know, you see a lot of guys that do much, but they end up crippled.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe a power bomb, you know, and their power bombs have crippled people.
Yep.
Because they hit the back of their head. And that's not coming off a ladder. I mean, these guys are taking chances.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them are doing it for next to no money.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in AEW now, I see they're getting a little crazy, and WWE's getting crazy. Look, it's not Triple H. It's not shit. Look at Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels walks around like a cripple.
He does.
And Shawn didn't really do crazy stuff like they're doing today.
Mm-hmm.
However, same thing with Triple H. However, they're not the ones putting their bodies through it. So let's pay, and I use this term loosely, let's pay the monkeys to perform. And if they get hurt, that's fine. We'll sweep them out. We'll bring in somebody else.
Yeah.
And then when that monkey gets hurt, we'll get rid of him and we'll bring in another one.
Yeah.
But while the monkeys are okay and they're getting through it, who cares what happens to them down the line when they've had enough of wrestling?
Yeah.
And they're crippled. You know, they're in pain every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why, you know, they say, you know, youth is wasted on the young. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're right.
Mm-hmm.
It is wasted on the young.
Yeah.
But now you're getting even older guys trying to do it because they want to become relevant again.
Yeah.
Your day came and passed. Let it go.
Yeah.
It's all gone now.
Yeah.
You know? People ask me, "Oh, you're going to wrestle again?" No. I had my day. My students want to wrestle me, and I'm like, "Yeah, no."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, that's I don't want to get back in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Can I? Yeah, I can still go if I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to? Yeah, there's times when I want to, but again, the mind says that the body can do it, and when there's things that I try, it takes me a while to get it down again.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a shame that wrestling's gone over the edge to where they lost their talent to keep, you know, people entertained just by pure wrestling. They got to, you know, go over the top now where they're coming off cages. They're smashing, and I mean legit smashing each other with chairs and going through ladders and even missing some of the spots where they're missing the ladders. And you got these idiots in malls jumping off, you know, the second floor and trying to land on a table for what?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to remember you.
For
Sure,
$50.
they'll remember the spot, but they're never going to remember who did it because you're not on TV and millions aren't seeing you.
Right. Yeah, and it's true. It's before I let you ask the last question on this segment, Matthew, I often talk about, you know, you, Paul, you, Mario, you know, obviously Rico and everybody else that we talk to, you know, less is best. But a lot, like you said, Paul, a lot of these guys are not understanding that, or at least maybe not putting in the effort. They don't comprehend, and they're just going more and more extreme. Like, who said it? Al Snow, I think, on a podcast recently, said eventually someone will die in the ring on TV. And
you know what they're doing?
What's that?
You know what they're doing?
What's that, Mario?
Listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to me. Let me grab a picture off the wall.
Okay.
Listen to me.
Mm.
Okay? Listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I challenge any company, and I'll go out. I'll go out before them, and they have to follow me. The match after me is going to have a plate of glass, barbed wire, tables, chairs, ladders, tacks, thumbtacks. I will get more heat and more pop than that match in the first